What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. My name's Will and I make an assortment of music under the moniker Hushchild. Now in today's episode, I want to talk to you about a subject that is taking the world by storm. Yes, if you've read the title correctly, we're talking about AI. Today I'm not debating whether AI is coming for our jobs. No, I think us as creators and musicians can probably take a glass half full stance on things and figure out what tools can work best for us. When I started this journey at the beginning of the week, I actually used Duet AI and I just couldn't see the point in this kind of clunky tool bouncing notes back to me after a very brief stimulus. Maybe I should do a melody or something. I don't get why this is helpful. What is going on? But it did get me thinking into compiling a list of tools that could be genuinely helpful for producers and make our lives a little bit less monotonous and a lot more easy. So let's get into the list. Shout out to my buddy NZ on the #1 spot. This tool is brand new to my attention. It's called podcast.adobe.com. Yes, it's brought to you by the guys at Adobe and it's completely free to use. This is AI speech enhancement technology. Now, where I find it helpful in talking head videos, you might find it more helpful when working with a vocalist who's maybe sent you some phone demos. You can get some really clear audio just by using this one device. This is my voice before the podcast app, and this is my voice after the podcast app. Much cleaner, right? At the #2 spot, we've got Magenta. Now you might have seen this in a list before, and you should definitely head to Magenta's website and check out demos. In the demos tab, you can keep an eye on all of the tools that the Magenta team are creating and even get to demo them in their early beta stages. But what I want to talk about is 2 of the 4 devices in Magenta Studio. So when you head to Magenta Studio, you can download this device for Mac or for Windows. And when you do download it, you'll get a standalone and an inbuilt device for Ableton. I love that they've made it so easy for Ableton users, and one of my favorite devices is definitely Drumify. I can see how some of my audience might find this really helpful. With Drumify, all you need to do is link the device to a MIDI melodic performance that you have, and it's going to create a drum rhythm for you. This is going to come in clutch when you've got those melodies down, but grooves just aren't your forte. The rhythms will come in slightly quantized, but you can obviously humanize these later. But I was surprised to see that there were velocity included in these rhythms, and most of the time it was knocking it out of the park. In Magenta Studio, you've also got something called Continue. Something that I struggle with is I can get a nice 4-bar melody, but after this, my ideas kind of dry up. And because my piano skills are limited, I tend to go for the same ascending and descending melody. With Continue, when you drop this device on your melodic clip, it will actually read what you have in MIDI form and then create another 1 to 4 bars of new melody. It will create a range of melodies, and these aren't all winners, but there's normally some gold in there somewhere. Now we know that there are AI artwork tools out there, and personally I use Distro. Yes, brought to you by the guys at DistroKid, and they happen to be our sponsor for today. Now Distro is absolutely free to sign up for, but if you're a DistroKid member, you don't have to sign up again, and you'll find it at the DistroKid website. Distro is extremely easy to use. You just throw in some words of advice for the generator to create your artwork on. And fun fact, I even used this for the artwork for Super, one of the tracks that I of course released with DistroKid. They make it so easy to get your music on all of the streaming platforms. I've said it a million times before, I truly believe it. If you want to become a DistroKid member and start releasing music alongside me, then make sure you get 7% off your first year. There's a link in the description below. This next one comes from Focusrite and Sonnable. It's a free tool called Balancer. This is going to come in really handy when maybe you're new to mixing and you can't afford Ozone or Gullfoss products. The way that the AI works is it takes your song and references it with some of the many tracks in its repertoire and tries to get you a clearer, warmer, or brighter balanced mix. There's really no downside to this. It's a free download. Try it out on your mix, and if it improves it, you're no worse off. I'll leave all the links in the description, of course. Okay, so at this checkpoint, I've kind of got two devices for you, depending on how you like to work. The first AI tool is called Ava. With Ava, you can generate compositions from a range of referenced material, both WAV and MIDI references. This can be helpful when maybe creating some new music outside of your chosen genre. It's absolutely phenomenal at creating some kind of classical, orchestral, cinematic compositions. The great thing about it is it has a DAW built in, and you're able to download the MIDI material as well. There is a tier system where you can only download like 3 compositions in the free tier, and then it kind of goes up. But again, if you've only got like one client brief, this could come in really handy. On the flip side of that, I'm bringing to your attention my friends BandLab. They're featured on the channel before, and I've even released sample packs with them. BandLab have this tool called BandLab Song Starter, which, not unlike Ava, is going to come in really handy when you're just suffering from writer's block and you need to generate a new idea. Both BandLab and Ava have their own DAWs, and with BandLab you can download the MIDI information as well. BandLab is especially beneficial because you can invite your friends to BandLab and you can collaborate on something together in the same DAW at the same time. Now, before we get to my final and favorite piece of AI technology right now, I want to make sure that there are some honorable mentions. You should definitely check out Focusrite's Fast Reverb. If you're new to music production and you're not sure about reverb space, decay, and all of the other settings that can go into it, this could come in really handy. It's going to listen to your chosen instrument, vocal, and the mix and generate some reverb that fits into that space nicely. I think this could be a really helpful workaround, but I haven't used it and I have no idea what the CPU impact is. If you have used it, leave us a comment down below. There's a company called Solaris or Solaria. I have reached out to them, but I hadn't heard back. So I wanted to put them in the honorable mention section. I think what they're doing is kind of exciting, but it's fairly new. This is AI generated text to speech or text to sung technology, which could be great when creating scratch vocal tracks. We've of course got the Captain plugins collection, which have a plethora of tools that are AI generated in helping you create chords and melodies, and I've even featured them on the channel before. I do actually use these tools quite often and they do come in super handy, especially when you've got limited music theory knowledge. Everything's editable both in MIDI form and WAV clips. And finally, you've got Cosmos from Waves. This is amazing for compiling your samples and getting your hard drive a little bit more in order by mood, BPM, key, and there's a whole list of other options as well. If you're a little bit OCD like me and like to have a clean desktop, then Cosmos is definitely the way to go. So finally, in the last category, is kind of wild. I know you've heard of it, but trust me and stick with me on this. It's called ChatGPT. Now, there's been so many reviews, so many viral clips, and so many users on ChatGPT this week, but I'm sure we're only scratching the surface. Now, the reason that I think it's particularly powerful is because, well, I've been using it the whole week. It even helped me generate some of this list. But what might be the other ways as a music producer or musician that you can use it? Well, let me tell you what I was experimenting with in the last 5 days. With ChatGPT, I've created music from code using Sonic Pi. I'm extremely dyslexic, so I got it to write a proposal to potential clients and future sponsors. I had some silly old fun by getting it to generate lyrics in the style of a particular rapper, and then took those lyrics to UberDuck so I could hear that rapper sing them back to me.
I've got style and flow. I'm the king of the throne. Snoop Dogg, baby. I'm the one that you own.
And I even got it to compile a list of drumless samples that I could later flip for you guys. I think it's a truly powerful tool and we're definitely only scratching the surface. But if I've left anything out of this entire list, do let me know in the comments and let's get a conversation going.